There's a lot of turnover for the Raiders offense from last year to this year. Most notably, Geno Smith comes over from a trade with Seattle to give Vegas some stability at quarterback. Geno will elevate the offense in a way that guys like Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell couldn't, and should boost the fantasy prospects of all-world tight end Brock Bowers and the always consistent Jacoby Myers. But that's not the only change here. The team had a clear-cut wide receiver one going into 2024 in Davante Adams, who was traded mid-season. Myers stepped up to the tune of his first 1,000-yard NFL season, but after him, opportunities in this wide receiver core are as wide open as any team has. Other than Bowers and Myers, Trey Tucker is the only skill player still with the team that saw more than 50 targets in 2024. There are jobs to be won in this offense, and when you are scouring for potential upside, the Raiders are worth keeping tabs on now that we can expect good quarterback play. Naturally, Jack Bech's offseason progression will be heavily monitored. He was the team's second-round pick after all, and receiver remains a positional need. Bech has the size and pedigree to potentially develop into a regular contributor for Vegas' offense. But there's another rookie here that made some waves during mandatory minicamp. Team beat reporter Levi Edwards went as far to claim that the team's fourth-round pick, Dont'e Thornton, has been one of, if not the most impressive rookies of the offseason so far. And for any dynasty managers looking for pure, raw athleticism, look no further. Thornton's college stats don't necessarily jump off the page, but he's got the profile of a big-time explosive wide receiver that could allow the Raiders' passing game to get much more vertical than they were a season ago. And according to ESPN's Ryan McFadden, Thornton, quote, has spent a good amount of time with the first-team offense, unquote. It's just off-season practices at this point, but still a noteworthy observation. So let's get under the hood. Who is Dont'e Thornton, and can he crack this receiver rotation as a fourth-round rookie? Thornton spent his first two collegiate seasons at Oregon and his final two at Tennessee. He stands at 6'5", weighs a little more than 200 pounds, and clocked a 4.3 in the 40-yard dash. So he's big and he's fast, a combination that doesn't always go hand in hand. Like I mentioned earlier, on paper, Thornton's basic stats don't scream high-level NFL prospect. He had a total of 65 catches in his collegiate career. Yep, you heard that right. 65 catches across 4 collegiate seasons. But it was what he did with his opportunities that make him such an interesting prospect. Thornton played right away with the Ducks, but wasn't high on the depth chart, so he only ended up with 9 catches as a freshman, but he averaged more than 19 yards per catch. His catch total increased only marginally his sophomore year. He had 17 receptions for 366 receiving yards, but that's good for more than 21 yards per catch. He transferred to Tennessee before his junior season, but only played 9 games due to injury. He had 13 catches in those 9 games, averaging 17 yards per catch. This past year as a senior, he had 26 catches for 661 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. He led all of FBS, averaging almost 25.5 yards per catch. Insane big play ability, even if the sample size is somewhat small. So maybe Thornton never develops into a volume wide receiver, but the Raiders thought enough to make him a fourth-round pick, and even though it's just spring and early summer practices, he's already getting reps with the starters. He'll have a clear size advantage over every defensive back he goes up against, and he's got speed to burn. His relative athletic score of 9.85 puts him in the elite category when ranking wide receiver athleticism, and he fits a clear team need. The Raiders would surely love a vertical threat to take the top off the defense and potentially free things up for Bowers and Myers, who will be working the intermediate levels of the field. At a very high level, might I add. So they, in turn, can ensure Thornton is only seeing one-on-one coverage on a regular basis. In dynasty rookie drafts, Thornton appears to be shaping up as a great late-round pick to stash and take a chance on. If you have a pick anywhere in the 4th round, or as high as the late 3rd round, adding Thornton shouldn't be a problem for you. The vibes on him are quite positive at the moment, and we could see his stock rise as we move through training camp and the preseason. He's not quite on the redraft radar just yet, but as previously stated, jobs are wide open in this wide receiver room. He's a rare instance of a wide receiver that doesn't necessarily appear to benefit from PPR scoring, but explosiveness and big plays can flip the script of any weekly fantasy matchup, making Thornton a very intriguing young player to keep an eye on.